Just trying to make some big bucks, man.
I already know what type of time you're on, so I believe that.
I know, hey man, I know what type of time you on too, man. Shoot. Tell me what time. Tell me what's new, man. What you been? What's popping, man? What you been active with?
Yeah, I've just been working on my personal funding. I got
Okay,
approved for I'm at like 90K right now.
90. Okay,
Um, trying to get to at least 150.
okay, all right.
That's works.
150.
And
That's it.
then
That's an easy do by the end of summer, probably, right? Beginning of the fall, you thinking?
nah, that's the next 30 days
I
type
see. There it is.
type. So
Like he said, light work.
yeah, and then I'm working on some stuff for the community. That's why I've been quiet.
Yeah, I
I just been
noticed.
head down.
Yeah, yeah. Nothing wrong with
So
that, man. Shoot, I ain't been doing nothing. Just auctions, man. Like I just got another couple cars and stuff, man, and just been focusing on cleaning up, processes and just all that type of stuff, man. So
okay. I've seen a couple of your posts.
yeah,
How many have you picked up since the last time?
I got let's see, I just got a Kia Forte last week, and then we also got a Ford, no, Chevy Cruze, man. So
Okay. Is the cruises, are they reliable? I'm kind of skeptical on those.
brother, hey, you know what? I don't know, man. For me, like I'm gonna be honest, I let my nuts hang, man. I'll try. You know what I'm saying? Like I try. Like just you know.
You just take it. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, because if we're getting the cars, let's say, below wholesale market value, then it's even that more advantageous for me. Because let's say the vehicle gets into an accident or something, or I don't know, whatever happens, then it's just that much value on the back end for us. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, no, that's true. I think another person I was talking to, she bought like an Elantra.
okay,
Um, and I sent her a customer, and the customer ended up in an accident, totaled out the car, and she got paid like double because she bought the car from auction.
yep.
What she paid for.
That's
So
why I always say everyone should try and get that license, man, because it makes you so much that more competitive. Because you came from the insurance background, so the first thing they're going to look at is, okay, what's the Manheim market report on this car? What's the wholesale value of this vehicle? And you already know that's where they're trying to negotiate and take you to. So, you know, another one of
yeah,
my
man, for sure.
clients that just smacked up one of my other cars last week, actually. So, and then I had someone else smack up a car this week, and then I had someone else do something to a car like almost a month ago, man. So, you know, I'm getting good with the insurance
Yeah,
claims, man.
yeah, man. That's the game we're playing. And actually, so that's one of the things I'm working on is like my insurance process
Yeah.
because I'm trying to maximize. Um, because a few people have reached out to me regarding like rent issues with rental cover,
Mm-hmm.
um, and those third parties. What else was the other one? Bonza.
Yeah.
Bonza is good. They are good. Um, but rental cover is one the big one that people use, and they have issues. So I came up with a solution. I'm about to give y'all. All right.
That's what's up.
But I won't say yeah, I'll wait to the end of the call.
Oh, he said you're gonna wait till the end.
So
Okay.
yeah, yeah, because a lot of people are kind of getting screwed in the claims process. Um, and there's actually a main reason why
Well,
people are
what
getting
I'm just
screwed in the
curious
claims
why
process.
I like to know why they're getting screwed or what they didn't put in their. Is it something a process that they didn't put in their rental agreement or?
Yeah. So I guess we'll just talk about it then. So what's happening is that what people are doing is that when they go purchase the third party insurance claims, they're purchasing it as the rental company, um, for the customer, right? And
That's
a
illegal.
lot of these third party platforms. What was that?
Isn't that illegal?
No, no, it's not illegal. It's not illegal, but the third party platforms don't like that. They want the customer to purchase it directly from them.
Mm-hmm.
Sense. So what you have to do, because our rental agreements have power of attorneys,
Right.
what you have to do is purchase. you purchase the insurance as the customer, and
Okay,
then when you file the claim as the customer, as opposed to filing the claim as the rental company.
I got you.
So that's
I
where
got you.
the disconnect is.
Because what? So when I spoke to some of those insurance companies out there at the Vegas event, what they were explaining to me is that it's illegal to, let's just say, the policy or whatever, you let's say it's a week of insurance that you're getting for them, right? They don't like you to go and then charge extra on top of that policy. So supposedly, like, that's a big no-no in the insurance game, and I had no
Okay.
clue about that.
I didn't know that. I mean, that's what how is that illegal? Because even like enterprise do that.
Well, see, Enterprise has their own insurance though.
Okay.
See, that's the difference.
I don't know.
Enterprise, they're their own entity like that.
Yeah, they take on the risk. Okay, so
Exactly.
I guess like probably like 90% of rental companies are charging up top.
Oh. Listen, I'm not arguing with, like, I was speaking to a lot of guys out
Yeah,
there that everyone does it. It doesn't mean it's right,
yeah,
but everyone, like, I mean, everybody, everybody does it. Everyone charges upcharges for the insurance. So
yeah. Okay, I didn't know that it was legal. Are you sure? It doesn't make sense. Or are they just saying that? Because I feel like sometimes these insurance companies just be saying stuff,
I
man.
mean, it was two separate insurance companies. So I mean, and another a big dude that I was having dinner with, he was telling me the same thing. Like, you shouldn't do it. It's very much so frowned upon, you going and charging on top of the policy. Now, how it's written up and all that, how the jargon is written up, that might be a different thing when it comes to the insurance. But just like, for instance, with the I can't think of the name of it right now. That thing that's supposed to protect us if you, let's say, you borrowed a car from somebody else to rent out. I can't think of the name of it right now. The that amendment, man. You know what it's called, bro.
Oh, the Graves Amendment.
Say
I
it
use that
again.
all the time. I use that all. The Graves Amendment.
Yes, the Graves Amendment. So what they were explaining to me is that the Graves Amendment is really more so a case by case situation and not so much a blanket of cover, because let's say you rent it out to someone, right? You get a car from me and then you rent it out to your client and they go get in an accident with someone and kill someone. What happens is the first thing they're going to try and come after is Alex, because you're the actual rental company. And so they're going to try and look
Right.
and find out, how well were you doing the maintenance? Do you have maintenance records? All that type of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things, like,
Yeah.
it doesn't,
Yeah.
you know,
That's the stipulation with the Graves Amendment is that
yes,
the car, the accident can't have been caused by some mechanical
right.
failure of the car,
Yep.
which would then hold you liable as the rental car company.
Yep. All
So like
day.
people will ask, I've seen people ask in the community, um, and anyone, I guess people can chime in here, but people ask, should I be renting salvage title cars? And
Hell
I'm like, I
no.
wouldn't do that because that increases your liability significantly
Yes. And,
as the
and,
rental
and and
car company.
especially if you bought the vehicle and you don't know what the previous history was, or how well they fix whatever the damages were. So for me, like, I won't touch salvage because I don't want the exposure of the liability.
Right. I don't either. So, and most of the time when I buy my vehicles, I get them inspected. I take a picture of the inspection.
Mm-hmm.
I make a copy and I put it.
Makes sense.
So there's no question. There's
Yeah.
no question if something happens.
Yeah. Put it on your
Yeah.
hard drive or Google Drive or wherever you need to put it in. Be good.
Right. I think Maggie asked. No, he's not saying it's illegal to purchase the policy for the customer. He's saying it's illegal to charge on top of it.
Yeah.
So maybe you have the policy for $100 and then you charge the customer 150.
Right. Now, the likelihood of you getting caught, that's the other piece too. Like, I'm not saying
Right.
someone's out there, but any way or any angle an insurance company can find to get out of paying a claim or something, they're going to take it every time.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. And I tell people this because I have an insurance background, so they will go through lengths to get out of a you don't even understand. They
Yes.
hire the private detectives.
Yes.
Because they pay a lot of money on claims.
Yes.
So if they spend half the money on a detective, to them they've saved thousands. They've saved the other half.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Yeah, they'd
they,
rather pay the private investigator, X amount of money than to pay out that claim.
Correct. So, I guess if anyone has any questions, this is just like a Q&A um slash discussion. So if you have any questions and any experience shares,
I could give a
I'll
quick
open up the
experience share, something
floor.
I just learned today actually. Uh, when it comes to, 'cause I had one of the renters that messed up the bumpers, and so what I learned was to always go through your insurance people, your insurance guys, because the insurance company and their preferred body shops are in cahoots. So those preferred body shops are always in it for the insurance company. So let's say, for example, in simple terms, let's say one of your clients scraped up your front bumper or ran over a curb or something, right? Well, you're looking at the damage and you're saying, oh, well, it's just the front bumper and the lip or whatever. It's, it's fine. This claim should only be a couple $1,000s. But in reality, the underskirt on your car might be scraped up, your muffler might be scraped up, and your catalytic converter might be scraped up. So for you to get all those OEM parts back on the car, and then let's say the frame is scraped up, well, they have to repaint the frame and then seal that frame again. So you might really be looking at a $7,000 claim. So let's say you take your car to Geico's preferred body shop. Well, Geico's preferred body shop is not going to go to the lengths that your personal mechanic or body shop that you deal with is going to go to. They're not going to try and list the muffler, the catalytic converter, the scratch on the frame. They're going to try and basically get that bumper done, get you out the door. So that's something I learned this week. Really focus on dealing with only your own ecosystem. Never ever use your rental coverage or your renter's insurance's preferred body shop.
For sure. That's an important one. We should already have relationships with body shops. I have like 2 or 3 of them, plus 2 or 3 mobile mechanics.
Yep.
That care about my cars and nobody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So that conflict of interest, like I even had a situation with a renter, and I stopped. This is an experience that I had. I'll tell you guys. So I stopped giving my VIN number to renters because there's a conflict of interest there for them to put my car on their insurance, because when something happens, they don't want to file the claim on their insurance. So that's a conflict of interest there where you don't want that, right? So if they want to get their own insurance, either you can make the policy and make them pay for it, or they have to get an independent policy on the car, full coverage, and then it can extend to the rental. That way they don't really have a choice if something happens to the car, because you verified. And always put your email as additional interest, so that if the policy cancels, lapse, changes, you get an email notification. That way you know everything that's going on with that insurance. If they remove your email, it will also notify you. And then just make sure you get your car, you pick up your car ASAP if you notice anything suspicious.
So let me ask you this then. So let's say the insurance does lapse in the middle of that rental and they end up getting in an accident or something. How would your insurance company handle that claim?
I've never been in that situation, but I usually have multiple layers of insurance. So if it lapses and it's something and you don't pick up the car and they get into an accident, that insurance is not going to cover it.
Yeah.
They'll say
Yeah.
they won't. They just won't.
Yeah, it's on you,
So
obviously.
in that situation, you just have to file on your own and you have to take the hit. But I would only do that if it's like an extreme situation, like a total loss on the car.
Or significant damage, of
and
course.
I would really, to me, I would really only do it on the total loss, and if I'm financing the car. Like if it's cash, I might just eat it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't want to take the insurance hit, because the insurance hit it's almost like semi-permanent. Like the impact will last for years on your insurance policy, with your rates, than just maybe eating up like $5,000 or $10,000 up front. But if it's financed, then you probably take the hit.
When I was talking with one of the GMI reps in Vegas, he was explaining to me, he was like, really what they look for is to make sure you did all your verifications and you did everything on your end. So they're not really looking to bang you up for you making claims, as long as you can have, a paper trail of, okay, you verified their insurance, you made the calls, you made the emails, you did everything you're supposed to do on their end. then they're not so inclined to raise your rates when it's time for you to renew, 6 months or a year down the line. So,
Sure. I mean, yeah,
but still try not to
I
make claims,
understand
of
that.
course.
Yeah, yeah. But for best practice, you always want to protect your vehicles.
Assets.
I don't GMI doesn't even work my state. Um, so I had to settle for like Romley, which only covers when I'm driving the car, like
Wow.
employees of the company, which I guess can be manipulated too if you think about it. But that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking for like some commercial solution because right now I like I just bought like 4 cars, so there's no way I can do personal policies
Yeah. No way.
across different insurance. A big headache, so I have to go commercial. Um, so that I'm still looking for that. That's why I've been head down. Like I've just been doing that. Trying to work my operations
Yep.
and also getting staff. There's some questions in there, in the chat. I had filed my claim with Bonza. I didn't have a problem with them saying yeah. So Bonza is really good. They are expensive, but they're the best because they tailor to their rental car company. Um, so if you can use Bonza, I would use Bonza. They are more expensive, but they're the best. So you're paying for the best, right? They don't even need to speak to the customer. Um, Once you file a claim, you have proof, you have pictures. They also make you do a video walk around of the car before the rental, um, to and pictures just to make sure they do their due diligence, you do yours, and then if there is a claim, everything runs smoothly. So, someone said, please, do you mind going over how insurance works for private rentals? Um, so with private rentals, it's not one size fit all. So that's what we've been talking about for the last like 20 minutes or so. You have to understand all the different available ways to protect your car with insurance with private rental. So the safest way is to go through the third party insurance companies like Bonza. Um, just pay for Bonza for your client, and that is the safest way, right? Put You can put the cars on a personal insurance policy, right, and then pay for
Yep.
the third party insurance stuff. That's the best way I can. That's the easiest way I can explain it to you. If you're like new to this, I'm guessing you're probably new to this, but just put the cars under your personal policy and pay for a third party insurance for all your clients that come to rent. So that's the best way I can give.
I would say, man, credit cards. I always try and push for them to pay with a credit card because it's free for them. And with the credit cards, the credit card insurance will pay for your lost wages every single time. Their private insurance will not pay for lost wages.
There you go. Go ahead, Naya.
Oh yeah. So like I got a car totaled 2-3 weeks ago, but luckily for me, the fault was from the guy that hit the renter. So I filed a claim. I think it was Area Insurance. They paid me out, and right now I'm fighting for them to pay me for lost wages.
Yeah, get all of that. Get lost wages. Get Actually, it's total, so you guess you can't get depreciation. I would even if you have a mechanic, right?
Mm.
You could get them to write you an invoice for storage fees. You can get storage fees. You can get a few thousand with that. What else? Trying to think. If you did towing, if you know someone
No,
that
I
has
didn't do
towing, you can.
towing. This happened at like 1:30 a.m. I didn't hear about it till like the next day. It was
Oh,
somewhere they found the car. The good thing is I just put brand new tires on the car 2 days before the accident, so I had to go there take out my tires.
okay. So how did the car move
And
from the accident?
I I don't care. I just know they paid me out now, but I'm still trying to get my lost wages for like three weeks.
Okay.
And then I still filed. Okay, so that customer they were on what's the other one? Rental cover, but rental cover is refusing to cover because I sent them a bill for like $3,600. But
They
they're
refuse.
refusing to cover it.
Why they? What did they give you a reason why?
Oh yeah, they said the thing is those guys are really funny. They said, oh, the rental started on the 19th, but the insurance started on the 20th, and the accident happened on the 22nd. I don't know what that means.
So the rental started before the insurance. That's what they're saying. So
Yeah,
that's probably an exclusion on their website. Make sure you read those. Um, Sometimes they will say that the you have to pay for the insurance first before the rental starts, and they can deny you because it's on their website. I know SureApp has
yeah,
something similar.
yeah. Then I had a question. How do you deal with out of states driver's license?
I don't. I don't. I don't rent to them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So they have to have a Maryland license, because I have very strict rules on where they can take the car. I do Maryland and DC. Uh, if I know they drive a lot for Uber or Lyft, I'll make an exception for Virginia, like Northern Virginia, but then that's it.
Yeah, the DMV, like just close by.
Yeah, because if anything happens, I have to go get the car.
Okay.
All right. There's a lot of questions in the chat. If you guys want to unmute, I'll prioritize the people that want to speak over the questions. Um, just put your hand up or unmute or
I
whatever.
got you. No worries. I
What's up?
have
Go
a
ahead.
question. Well, what's up, Alex? How are you? I was wondering how many types of insurance do you use for your car rental business? Because I hear that there's one when the customer is operating, one off, but there might be like another one. So I just wanted to figure out what is the exact number.
Um, like I said, there isn't one size fit all. I've basically tried all the different types of insurances, but I have an insurance background, so I can do that. I can take more risk because I understand like how to play the game with the insurance companies. But what I can tell you is the simplest way to do it is pay for rental car insurance from the third party platforms, preferably Bonza.
Okay.
That's the easiest way to do it for your clients. If you want to charge a little bit more, I'd rather just charge a little bit more and just pay for that. Um, but you could do less commercial, right? Less commercial like GMI, and GMI will cover the company and the rentals. But if you file too many claims, they can drop you. There's things like Romley, which is like period X insurance, which only covers you and employees of the company when they take the company to do pickup drop offs and car washes.
Hmm.
So it's it's not it's not like straightforward. So you have to like I've used Shore app. And every time I use the company, I read all the exclusions on their website just so that I know that what I'm doing, what I'm paying for is going to be covered. So that's important. Like make that a practice, especially with insurance. I've used Rental Cover, I've used Alliance, I've used Bonza. Um, so
Right, thank you.
go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, I just had a question. Cause I had a renter that had like his own insurance, but he didn't have his own car, but he wanted to use my car to rent it out. But they told I gave him the VIN number and everything so he could put it to list it, but
Yeah.
he couldn't do it because he don't have a they said he didn't have a car. It was registered under me. So how do y'all do that so they could put it
Uh,
under their
you need to take so don't just give him the VIN number and let him put it on the insurance. If he wants insurance, you set up the insurance, and then you collect his card and pay for it. So you would set up the insurance, and you would just collect his card and pay for it. Why? So that when the time comes for a claim, you have more control of the claims process. You don't want to leave the claims process up to the customer. Otherwise, you'll get like he might say the wrong thing and then you get denied. If I'll give you an example, if you give him your VIN number, he puts it on his insurance, he's paying for it, and he gets into a car accident. And let's say he gets into a car accident and there's no police report, right? And that's pretty common.
Mhm.
If all he has to do is tell the insurance company it's not my fault, even if it was, and they won't cover your car.
Okay, so like when I'm setting up the insurance though, I'm putting it under my name. Like,
No, you put
the-
all his information. You're gonna collect his information anyway: his license, his address, date of birth, um, and all that. So you just
right,
set it up
but
in his name.
because he told
Yeah,
me that it wasn't registered. The car is not registered under him. It's like registered under me or my business and whatnot. So
you can still do
they
it.
wasn't gonna accept it. That's what he
You can
told
still
me.
you can still do it. Just do it online. He probably called them and said too much anyway.
You know.
You can
Hmm.
do it. Set it up. Um, and during the claims process, you don't have to mention anything about who the car is registered to. You just file, hey, my car got into an accident. You file a claim. They'll pay you out. Um, if you want to be safe, you can just have him go put um insurance on a different car, one of his
Hmm.
own cars, their full coverage insurance policy, and then it extends to rentals. And then you just verify, add your email as additional interest. That way, if something happens, his insurance has to cover you, your car.
Okay,
Makes sense?
yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Do they don't they ask you for your for the social for their social and stuff like that too when you filing it?
Um, so some insurance companies do, some don't.
Okay.
I think Geico does, but even I've used Geico and I haven't put my social and they still give me the policy. But Geico is getting a
Yeah,
little
because
bit more.
I know I know they start doing that now. Asking
Yeah,
for people's social so they can see the history of pay, like paying off their stuff.
yeah, I know Geico is getting more strict with that, so you might need social. But for me, I wouldn't take. It depends on how you want to run your business, but I would just charge him for rental car insurance, or he has to have his own full policy that extends to rentals.
Yeah, because I'm trying to move towards like going more on the exotic side, and I know like you need more of the personal insurance
Yeah,
to
so
take their claims.
if you're gonna do exotics, you definitely don't want to give him your VIN number. Make sure he has each person that's coming to rent a luxury exotic car should have a full personal insurance policy, full coverage. Property damage has to be equal or greater than the value of your car. You
Hmm.
um you have to verify it by calling the insurance company. Make sure that when you call, I record all my phone calls. So make sure that you record the phone
Yeah,
call.
I have open phone that does that.
Yeah.
Um,
Get the person's
yeah.
name and everything. And then that's how you verify. That way you're covered. If anything comes up, you can just use the phone call as evidence. There's no
Okay.
way around it.
Okay.
When you're dealing with those cars, you don't take any risk at all when it comes to insurance because they will deny you. Because remember, we were just talking about insurance company go through great lengths to deny claims. If you have a car 75K and over, they will definitely do everything they can to deny that claim.
Hmm. Okay.
All right.
All right. Appreciate it.
Most insurance they don't want you to have what over 30. I notice it's what like 35, $40,000 on vehicles usually, right?
Um. Yeah, I think like no, I don't think that's necessarily true. I think that most of them quote people at the state limit. I mean, because usually most people have like regular economy cars, but you can have like exotic cars and have it covered. I think Geico covers like 75K. I think. Don't quote me on that. Mike probably has more
Up to
info.
100K.
100K. There you go. So
For rentals?
no, for personal
Yeah.
Oh,
policies.
okay, for personal. Oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
was
for the
talking about for
personal
rental. Yeah, I'm
policies.
talking about for rental. Yeah. So you're saying on personal
Oh, for
policy.
rentals. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, for rentals, for rental car. I didn't know he was doing exotic. For exotic cars, they have to have a personal policy. Like
Yeah.
you can't do
There's no way
rental car.
around it. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Chima.
How you doing?
Good man. Your voice is kind of low.
Hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
Good man.
Please, I have this question to ask. I have about 5 cars, I think four, yeah, that are rebuild title. I want to know if most of this insurance will be able to accept them.
So we were just talking about this. Um. So
Like you said,
yeah.
salvage. It's a service, so I registered it. It turns to rebuild title.
Sure, they will. Most companies will. You get charged a premium for that because your car has more liability. But you probably don't want to rent out salvage title cars because you can be held liable in the case of an accident if it was due to a mechanical failure or mechanical issue with your car.
Oh, okay. I see.
Right. So
Because I tried to put it on. Sometimes I try to put it on Turo. Turo don't accept it. It was HyreCar I used to accept it, but they shut down. So, but
yeah,
Turo no, they don't
Turo's,
want to accept it.
yeah, Turo's not gonna take that. Um, you just have to take more precaution. So you need to do your inspections regularly. I would do inspections every 6 months. So just to
Okay.
make sure that'll be your proof that there's nothing wrong with the car. Because if there's an accident, they're gonna look into what like what caused it. And if it's your vehicle, if something wrong with the car, you can be held liable.
Okay. Sorry. Is there any rental insurance you can recommend me for it, like for these cars?
So are you looking for a policy to put them on, like for yourself?
Yes. No, not for
Yeah, you can go
myself. For the customer. For customers.
rental car insurance. You have Bonza, you have rental cover, you have Alliance, um, Sure app. I think Sure app doesn't accept, so forget Sure app. Be Bonza, Alliance, rental cover. I would go with Bonza. Bonza is the best. They're the most expensive, but they're the best.
Okay. Banza, right?
Bonza, yeah.
Quick
Okay.
question, Alex.
Yeah, go ahead.
Does Bonza actually really cover non clean title vehicle? I'm gonna have to speak with the CEO about that.
Sure. I mean, you can look into it. I haven't looked into it.
I
So like
don't
I said,
think so, but I'm gonna double check just to get him that answer, and I'll put it in the group chat once I get the answer because I'm really close with him. His name is Brandon, so I'm gonna double check with him and get back to you on that.
all right.
All right.
It's
All
probably
right.
going to be on their website too. So I would go on the website, look. If whenever you're purchasing these third-party insurance companies, you guys have to read the exclusions, like because a lot of you're not gonna read the exclusion, you're gonna pay for it, and then claim time, and they're gonna be like, oh, sorry, it's excluded. So read the exclusions on the website.
Okay.
And
Question,
also,
Alex.
when it comes to getting commercial insurance for your vehicles as well, majority of them want clean title vehicles, so it's gonna be very very hard for you to
It's
get
gonna be it's gonna be tough on
extremely
you.
hard.
Okay. Maybe I'll get them sold, then go for a clean title. That's what I would do.
Yeah, I would recommend that.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Uh, question,
Yeah, go ahead.
Alex. Um, do you know any commercial insurance that only accept like three cars,
3 cars. You doing
five?
exotics though, right? You're doing exotics though, right,
No, no,
Peter?
no. I'm about to transition. No. I'm doing economy right now, but I'm gonna transition soon. Uh,
I think the minimum is usually 5. I think, but you can look. I think you might have some luck with Romley, but like I said, they only cover when you're driving the car or an employee of your company is driving the car to do pickup, drop offs, car washes, and maintenance. That's it.
right. Nah, I just need them to have like insurance, and then like how we regularly do it, and then
Okay. Yeah,
use Bonza and Sharab and all of that
yeah,
to file claims or give it to the clients and customers.
yeah. I used to use Bonza all the time. I used to charge people $25 a day, and people would pay it. But I think they increased it now to like what 30? Is it 30 now?
Nah,
Um,
it's 26. It's 26, but I charge extra too on top of that.
yeah. So yeah,
Yeah,
I mean I'll
it's
probably go back to that because that's the best one. This one.
it's like $26.95 or something like that, right under $27 now.
Yeah. I mean, they're the best, so I guess they can do that. I mean, if you think about it, most of these companies they don't even want to deal with the rental car companies. And Bonsai say, you know what, we'll deal with the rental car companies, even if the customer doesn't answer. right? We'll still cover the claim, right? If obviously if you did your due diligence, you submitted your pictures and everything. But they also have a lot of exclusions. So I think Bonza has a 500. Is it $500 deductible? So keep that in
They raised
mind.
it up for some states. Some
There you
states is
go.
$1,000 now.
There you go. They also you can't also file claims for single car accidents, which means that there has to be another vehicle involved, which basically means there has to be a police report because how can you prove there was another vehicle involved if you go file a claim, right? So there has to basically they're saying you have to get a police report, right? So that's why it's important to read the exclusions and like the stipulations because you don't want to get denied when you actually need it. And then you should always have right multiple layers, and then your backup should cover you in the worst case scenario. But that's only if it's the worst case scenario. All right.
Hello.
Any question? Yep. Go ahead.
And when you say your backup insurance, what exactly do you mean? Like from start to finish, if I want to rent a vehicle out, do I just call Bonza? And you keep saying personal. What if the cars are my company name? Do you mean like what you mean personal insurance?
You can still put the personal insurance even if it's registered in your name. I do that right now. So I have multiple. So I used to have 3 personal policies and I switched one to commercial. So now I have one personal policy for my most expensive cars, and then I have the rest of the cheap cars and the commercial policy. What I mean by worst case scenario is that if you have cars that you're financing, you probably want to keep those on a personal policy, even if it's in your company name. That way, let's say worst case scenario, the rental car, the third party rental car insurance company is denying all your claims. You can get it covered on your personal policy. That's what I mean by that.
Okay, but sometimes like with my personal policy, they will ask, are you using this for rental? So do you say yes or do you say no?
No, you say no, and you don't
Right.
tell
So
them
how
anything
would
about
you?
it.
Right. So then if you get into an accident, would you just tell them like you was in an accident?
No. So there's something called so with personal insurance policy,
Mm-hmm.
you can give someone permission to drive your car
Right.
and
Like with
it's
full
covered.
coverage. Yeah.
And it's covered. So
Okay.
you would use that. But the most important thing about this is that you need to, if you're gonna do this, because what I do, I tell all my renters,
Mm-hmm.
no to mention anything about a rental car during an accident, right? So in the police report, there's no need, right? There's actually no need to mention anything about a rental car or if they're driving for Uber, Lyft, anything commercial. All I tell them is you're covered for I have insurance on your on this vehicle. You're covered, right? In the case of an accident, only mention the facts to the police report. You were driving here, X, Y, and Z, and this happened, and that's it. There's no need to mention anything else, right?
Okay.
If they ask you whose car it is, you can just say, then I give them my name. Alex said you can drive. I can have permission to drive the car, and that's it, right?
Got it.
So
Okay.
because if the police report says, person's name was renting the car, it's over, right?
Right.
So
Okay.
just make sure you prep your renters that way too.
Gotcha. Okay, write that down. Okay. So you recommend having private insurance and then once they want to purchase, you can buy a single policy? Is that what
You just buy the weekly policy. That's why I only rent weekly. Buy weekly policy with Bonza.
So bonds are still a weekly policy and you don't have to pay and you just pay for the week at a time.
You pay for a week at a time. Yep. So if they don't pay, you're not paying for like crazy insurance. Now, there's different things you can do. Like, and I'm gonna get into the nitty gritty, but like let's say you've had a customer that has been renting with you for like a couple months. They're reliable. They're making payments on time. You could create like a policy for them, a personal policy for them. You talk to them about it, of course, on the phone. Create a personal policy for them, and then you have them pay for it. Maybe you reduce their weekly fee or something. You use to take their card, pay for it, right? Add your email as additional interest, and now they have a full coverage personal policy on the car. And if any claims happen, you are the one that files the claim because you have access to the policy.
Okay, but the policy be in their name.
Be in their name, correct?
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All right. Thank you.
Yep. Go ahead, Dante.
My bad. So before I do that, I got a couple questions. But Alex, can you give me that scenario what you said earlier when you said an example? If someone was to rent a vehicle and then they said the wrong thing and they said that it was their fault that insurance wasn't covering it, can you
Yeah. So
touch some of that?
I was giving that scenario when because people were saying that should I give my VIN number to my renter and then they get insurance on my car. And what I'm saying is that the risk there is that if an accident happens and your renter files the claim and they say that it wasn't let's say the accident happens, there's no police report. So normally the at fault is determined by the cop when the cop gets to the scene, right?
Mm-hmm.
If there's a police report and your renter tells the insurance company it wasn't my fault, the insurance company isn't going to cover the car.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay. Okay. I get it now. I get it. Okay. Yeah.
So that's
If
why
you
it's
have coverage, don't full
say
coverage.
that.
What if you have like full coverage? Don't that it doesn't matter whose fault or
They're going
No,
to want the
because
other person who was at fault to cover it. That's why they just going to back out the deal because they want the person who's supposed to be at fault to cover it, right?
okay, okay.
so so the the reason why it's an issue is because there's a conflict of interest, right? So if your renter admits to fault, their insurance rate could go up even on their next car. So they know that. Like trust me, your renters know that. So they will say it's not my fault even if it is, especially if
Right.
there's no police report
Oh,
to get
got
out of
you.
getting their insurance rates go up. So that's the conflict of interest. It's not their car, so they don't care about the car.
Right.
Makes sense?
Yes.
So, so you were saying don't do that much because I got a renter actually in the car actually doing that right now. I let them put the policy the car. I let them put the car into their policy.
So you don't want to do that. That's a big risk. Now, can they have integrity and admit? But are you really going to trust the renter to admit fault to just to get your car covered?
I don't trust none of them no more after all the stuff I did.
There you go. That's what I'm saying. And then remember, right? Insurance companies don't want to cover your claims. So if the guy says it's not my fault, there's no police report. They're like, oh, okay, say less. Let's move on then. So
I thought they have a no fault law or something like that
so
from some
yes,
states.
there's no fault state, but there's still a caveat to this, right? So there's no fault states. You're correct. In the case of a no fault state, right? The insurance company of each party will cover their own car, but that car is not the renter's car. They don't give a shit about your car. So if they say it's not my fault, the insurance man asks, okay, do you want the car covered? And they might say no because the insurance rate will go up. What are you going? There's nothing you can do because the insurance will listen to the paying customer, not you. Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense, but I seen that on Bonza as well, that they have the no fault state, so that's why they raised it up to $1,000 deductible on their website. So I was reading the exclusion and everything. So whatever state is, you just gotta look at your state. What state is uh, a no fault state, and I think they should cover that.
Yeah.